Mental health. Many people suffer from this every day, in their childhood and adulthood. Some people will come forward with their problems and ask for help, but some people remain silent in this and keep these feelings to themselves. Between 0.5% and 1.7% of people have borderline personality disorder, and exactly 75% of people that suffer from BPD have attempted to commit suicide. 10% of these patients complete suicide. Every 2 hours and 11 minutes, a person under the age of 25 dies of suicide. That's 10 people every day. And this can be caused by abuse from childhood. Some people might get confused with the meaning of BPD. BPD is borderline personality disorder. They have a pattern of abnormal behaviour portrayed by unstable relationships with other people. They have an unstable sense of self and have unstable emotions. To get a rounded perspective on mental health issues, the college counsellor Tracy speaks about mental health among students in college.
Most of the people would come with individual issues, so depression or anxiety or a relationship breakup. Over the years, things have got more complex and there are a lot more complex cases come. There are much more incidents now of people with severe mental health difficulties. Quite often, I'll work with somebody for a while and then we'll realise actually there's another layer of complexity here. And so I help the students kind of understand what's going on for them, understand the issues, and then we'll help them get involved with the appropriate mental health services. I think for many students, when they come into counselling in college, we're quite often the first person they've spoken to about maybe the extent of their difficulties, and they're trying to work out what's going on for themselves and they're confused. So I think we will help them kind of normalise some of the behaviours, look at coping mechanisms for some of the behaviours, but also highlight to them if we think something is severe and probably does need support from the mental health services, in which case we can then help them get appropriate referrals into the relevant service.
Hi, I'm Natalie, I'm 20 years old and I suffer with depersonalisation disorder and have done for about 5 years. Depersonalisation disorder is a form of anxiety disorder. You feel very disconnected from yourself, the world around you. I wake up some days and don't recognise my face or my family, my loved ones. When I get incredibly stressed, I start to forget what they look like and do I really know them? But it's like living with a pane of glass in between your brain and your eyes. So almost like you're just watching everything, but it's a bit distorted. It just feels a bit weird. I went to the doctors when I first got it, and they didn't really listen to what I said. They didn't know what I was talking about, and it became very clear very soon that not a lot of medical professionals nowadays know about these conditions that have, popped up in recent years. It feels like I can't put myself out there to get the help that I need, because if I'm going to go to a doctor and they're not going to understand what I'm talking about, then how will I have any faith that I can get better if I can't get help from someone who understands it?
Esther wanted to raise more awareness about BPD. Here she is speaking about her experiences.
How has BPD changed my life? Well, I suppose it's in some ways helped me understand. I never understood why I reacted in such irrational ways. And I think learning that I have BPD has helped me understand why I react in odd ways. Well, I thought, what odd? So I've had depression for 4 years, anxiety for 4 years, but only the last year or so I've had the other two things. The weird thing with BPD is that you could 1 minute, or even like it'll be a week that I'm really on a high, and I'm not super happy, because I don't feel like I remember what happy feels like or what excited feels like. You know, I think about those feelings and I don't remember what they feel like. One week I could be on a sort of high and I'm really hyper and feel really energetic, and then the next week I could be on a low where I'm just suicidal, not wanting to get up in the morning, or it could just be change. It could change within a day. I could have a day where I'm wake up really happy and really energetic, and then 2 hours later and I'm really depressed and just don't want to live. So I'm on an antidepressant. I'm on sertraline, I think that's how you say it, I don't even know. And then they've given me an antipsychotic, which I'm not particularly happy to take, because I've tried it before and it made me into a zombie. I couldn't really speak, it was horrible. But I'm trying that again. It's called Qua. They just said call it Q, so it's Q. I don't remember what it's called, but it's really strong. So I'll try that for a bit, because that's a mood stabiliser, so that will help me not be like this all the time. My parents would always ask, or my siblings would always ask, "Are you okay?" And I didn't know myself why I was depressed, but I think knowing I've been diagnosed with borderline, it really has helped. It really has helped.
Not only is Esther herself affected by BPD, but her family are also affected by the difficulties she faces day to day.
I think it's affected it in quite a way that your children, or my child, and she's still my little girl, even at 24, you don't know what to do. You don't know how you can help her, and you're depending on an organisation, the NHS, which has been so cut for funding. Mental health is the first one that's been cut. I think it's affecting everything all round. So it affects the patient, but it also affects the patient, how she behaves, how she's at home, and that obviously affects your family, because you want to help your little girl.
When you're a parent, I think most parents feel like this, that when your child weeps, you weep with them. And, you know, there's a sense of guilt. You know, what did we do? What didn't we do? Somebody very helpfully sent some articles when she was first diagnosed, and said it was all the parents' fault. And of course that just brought condemnation. That was very difficult.
No, I don't think so. Because you worry more about it, and you're very concerned. So I wouldn't say it's affecting us for the better. Yes, it's brought us closer together. I think that's a positive thing. But I don't think anything else. I don't think you say anything else on that, no.
I don't know. I think you can turn negatives into positives. It makes you a stronger person. It makes you more compassionate towards others and understanding. Yes, it's horrible to go through, but no, I think it can make you stronger. And I think, as well as a Christian, that it's made me more reliant on the Lord, and that's helped me tremendously. And I think you could say the same as well, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
So I think from that point of view, there are definitely positives that can come out of something negative like this. But living through it as we are still, it's hard. It is hard on a daily basis. You're not quite sure what each day is going to bring. So
we're in the early days. This is the thing.
We are.
And we know it's a long journey, but we're early days at the moment.
And my family have been very supportive, and I know I can go to them whenever, even though when I am really down and suicidal, I don't really want to speak to anyone. But I can just go to them and start crying, and they know. I'll literally just turn up and be like crying, and they know that I'm sad. But yeah, the support in the family is very, very good. And I've got some really close friends who I've shared a lot with, and I know I can just give a text and they'll come and see me, or I'll go see them. So I have got some good support. It's just me knowing when I should get that support, because when I'm really depressed or really suicidal, I'm not good at talking to anyone. Well, originally, when I was 19, I didn't get into the army, and I'd wanted to get into the army for most of my life, and I trained for it, and then I didn't get in, and I originally thought that was the issue, but since seeing a psychologist, I discovered that there was something in my past that had happened that was the reason. I suffered from depression and self-hate. Shouldn't really laugh about it, but yeah, so there was something before that I struggled with when I was younger. That's very common in borderline personality.